Okay, I'm back into the World of Duchame series. This is going to be Airport. It's just a watery port off of one of the oceans in this old role-playing game I was doing. Basically, I've got a couple of scripts here. We'll get into this one in a minute and show you how this one's scripted. It's just this area down in the bottom section. The top section's pretty simple. I thought we might spend a little time on that because it's just a little exercise to do before you get going on kind of a creative script. I'll enlarge this one. I'll just take all that geometry off of that one and I'll put it into hiding for right now. Hopefully you can hear me. And take that off. And then this one I'll bring up and I'll enable. And we'll jump down into exactly what that is, which is just a little tiny geometry, probably best done on top view. Here it is. Pretty simple little flag, same type of thing that I did before. I made a domain that, I'm getting everything. Pretty wild. All right, so I'm gonna have to basically go in, make my rectangle, find my center, move my geometries, take those two ends, deal with this point first. Basically, I build an arc, I do a quick rotate, I do a move, I believe, on the point, the center point in that. I build a second arc. I bring those both together into here. And then the second point is just the middle point, which is moving back and forth and throwing a line between it, not too hard. And the third point is basically a pentagon that I blasted apart and used list items to bring together holistically these points in connection with their lines, and that forms the star. So that's pretty simple. Take all those geometries, put them up into here, put them into a pipe, and then join them as a brep, and you've got your flag that symbolizes a drawing I did 30 years ago. It's pretty cool. Little piece of geometry exercise before you start. Nothing too brainiac about that. I'll put that disable. Then what I have is I'm going to go into my perspective view, and I'll put that all on, shrink it down, show you what's going on here. I decided to start with a very simple, if I put this on, very simple circle. The points divided on it, find my field lines, find the surrounding perimeter, and pull out these straight field lines and then take them as a lift item, a list length, and lift them in a z-axis up and down. They actually move in a positive and negative direction here, so you can move them up and down. In doing so, I then made it. I split them into points again. I made a surface from points. Some's underwater, some is above water, kind of like a plateau. I scaled it a little smaller. I lofted the smaller version, and then I lofted between them, and I made this kind of weird landscape that has a top, a bottom, and the sides. And what that does is it brings it in as a piece of geometry over here that I can basically have as a weird island floating somewhere in an ocean. And it's totally parametric. You can change it. Then I go back to my surface. I'm going to divide those surface up, find a series of points on there, decide how many I want, and points on points, and I fabricate by moving the points and taking a look at endpoints and building arches that I consider kind of as rope to rope off the docks so ships can kind of land along these points, and then I pipe those. And that's basically it. You've got a kind of a rope system that surrounds a pier of a pretty cool island. So I thought that would be kind of cool to do that. If I take that off, you can start to see that. And then really the only other thing I did was I brought in an old script here. We'll put this back on. Brought in an old script, this one. I think I went into it and did a non-uniform shift scaling of it, and then I did a quick loft elevation of it to give it a little bit of water. And that said, that's it. It's not too hard. You've got your three forms. I think looking at that one's kind of nice. Take it off. You've got this ability to go in, jump in here. I'll go back to a render. I think it was on render. I've got a pen and ink drawing here. Yeah, that's nicer blue, I think. And top view, I think, was technical, looking down on here. Maybe that's not what I did initially, but anyway, that's the script. Pretty simple. You got a cool little geometry. You can bake it, you can play with it, and that starts to build the first level of a town called Airport in a matter of 5 minutes. It's not dreadfully hard to start thinking of these things. It's actually kind of fun, in my opinion. And what would be a nice view of this, I guess, is to go full out front. There we go. And get rid of my grasshopper. Shrink myself. I got tweeted by somebody. And there we go. Got a pretty cool landscape dock to come upon, and think about what that would be with ropes hanging underwater, maybe steel, maybe cable, whatever you really feel like. I like the aerial view of this. It just needs a little bit of analysis. Maybe ink, pen. Never know what's going to look good. And keep in mind, I haven't rendered any of these yet. This is just the Grasshopper ghosted images of what's happening. But a kind of cool pier and dock. And I'll throw it into shaded. That's probably be enough to kind of get a ghosted form of what's happening. That's it. Wireframe and whatever. Thanks for watching. I'll keep going with it.